my first year, I said your group's kind of loaded, and you were a little skeptical.
Yeah, if you guys would ask me these questions like in December, you would get a much better answer. I feel good about the guys that we have. I feel good about how they're practicing, how they're competing right now. Practice has been spirited. It's been competitive. There's competition at every spot. Just really feel good about the room. I'm talking about top to bottom. Even the freshmen have been really good too. But until we get out in the field versus Albany and not going up against other people where the snap count or you have an idea what's going on, that's when I'll really know. But the group's been great. It's a really fun group to work with.
A lot of hype around Max Llewellyn after we got to see a little bit of what he did last year. Are you seeing him grow into, he was kind of a pass rusher guy, but are you seeing him grow into that every down?
Well, yeah, the pass rushing part of it, Max has always had a real natural ability to rush the passer, but, we've worked on his ability to play versus the run. It's hard for me to talk about Max without bringing up Ethan Hurkett. And the reason I do that is because in 2023, if you remember about Hurkett, I don't want to make this about Hurkett, you're asking about Max, but in 2023, the fourth down stop at Iowa State, that was Ethan Hurkett, who did not start that game, just so happened to be in at the right time, right? The interception versus Nebraska to win that game, that was Ethan Hurkett, who did not start that game, just so happened to be in at the right time. Last year versus Nebraska, the strip sack, that was Max, who did not start that game. So it's more so about being ready to take advantage of your opportunity when you get in there, not necessarily counting your reps, but making your reps count. And that's the big thing for Max. And Max knows there's going to be a transition from being just a guy who goes out there on third down in every third series. Now I'm going to be out there potentially every play. So your mindset has to change, but the expectation of production still needs to be there. And the beauty of it is we have enough guys. There's enough guys that are coming up in the ranks that all the pressure doesn't need to all be on him to make the play. I'm looking for the next Ethan Hurkett. I'm looking for the next Max Llewellyn. The guy that is ready when his number's called to go out there and make the play. That's really what I'm looking for.
The two transfer D tackles that you brought in, Jonah and Bryce. I've heard a lot about Bryce being kind of a freak.
Well, yeah, he's pretty good.
Okay.
He's pretty good. He's a guy that we had in camp twice, and I didn't take him. You can't always be right. But we got him, and I'm really excited about him. He practices with high energy, violent kid, super smart, like almost too good to be true. I think he had a 4.0 last semester. It's just like this kid is. But he's not uptight. Like, he's just one of the guys. And both him and Jonah have both come into our room and have just fallen right in the line with how we want to do things and the things that we value, the things that are important. They're important to those guys too. So they were both really good gets. Really good gets.
With Jonah, is it more of, like when you talk about Bryce, you talk about the twitchiness, stuff like that. With Jonah, is it more just being a little bit more like technically savvy?
Well, it's not even the technically savvy part. It's the fact that he's played in over 35 games of college ball. So when you insert that into the room, here's a guy that, whether he's playing on a Tuesday night Maction or a Thursday night Maction or a Saturday, like, he's had his hand in the turf against really good competition. So that experience, although coming from another school, is really welcome to the room. Because there's some guys that have been here for a while that haven't played as much football as Jonah Pace. So I'm excited about that.
What do you need from Graves this year?
That's a good. I just need Graves to be consistent. Every year he's gotten a little bit more play time. Every year his production has increased a little bit more, and that hasn't come with any type of expectation. It's just kind of removed the stuff that would inhibit that type of growth. I want to quiet his mind when he puts his hand down and have him be confident in what he's seeing, trust his eyes more. And then, probably the next thing is continue to mentor the guys that are behind him. Talking about Bryce Hawthorne, talking about Devin Kennedy, Maddox, Porcherding Johnson, those guys. Just continue to pour into him, because sooner or later, Aaron Graves is going to run out of that tunnel with his helmet up in the air, and there's going to be some guys left behind. I want him to leave his mark, show these guys how to work, because that's how we've been able to keep the continuity in the defensive line for years, is older guys teaching the younger guys. So while I'm not asking for anything on the field, what happens on the field is going to happen. But just leave your mark in the room where guys have a good understanding of how to work and what it's supposed to look like.
You mentioned finding the next Ethan Hurkett, the next one. So who are some of those guys? Obviously we know Brian Allen's coming back from the surgery, but who else are you seeing maybe step up
Kenny
right now?
Kenny Merriweather is a guy. Got two really young guys I'm really excited about. Three, really. Oh, there's all of them. I don't want to single anybody out, but Joseph Anderson is a guy who's come a long way in terms of being a football and track guy. Now he's just a football guy. Chima Chineke is a kid out of Dallas who definitely looks the part and has done some really good things in the practice field. Young Yosei Epinesa has stepped in and done some really good things here in the past couple of practices, so we're excited about that. I don't know who it's going to be, but they have to have that. It's not it's got to be a sense of urgency. I don't want them to be paranoid. I don't want them to be nervous. But when their number's called, if they're out there on the field, you better believe we trust them to be out there. I don't want to just put them out there and be like, I don't want to not see what's going on. We put them out there. We trust them to be out there.
Yosei, obviously, we're very interested in him. AJ played right away, and I'm not comparing him with his brother, but how did AJ get on the field, and what does Yosei have to do to
That's a tall task because you're talking about, and I don't want to knock anybody in the room. Back when AJ got here in 2017, but yes, there was less proven there. You know what I mean? Less proven there. But Yosei has, we took him. Freshmen the first couple of days don't do much. They watch and they try to figure it out. But when you get out there, you see some natural ability. He's got strong hands. He's quick. AJ, Dad Epi, brother AJ, other brother Eric, he's very familiar with football, well schooled in football, and that's always a huge get because you don't have to teach your kids, how to get in the stance, so that's always a huge get. But to get on the field like AJ, I don't know, I can't say, but I'm excited about his development. He's been really good here the past 3 days, and we'll just keep going and see how this thing goes.
In terms of your veterans, I'm sorry, Kelvin.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah.
Grades too.
It's media day.
I'm used to it, man. I'm used to it. I know I got to say the same thing 4 times. So.
In terms of the guys that are still here,
Yeah.
they haven't been waiting their turn to get on the field per se, but I guess they have been waiting to be leaders. Can guys be leaders from the defensive line, even though the traditional leader is your Mike linebacker, your strong safety?
I think the media wants to make the Mike linebacker and the safety leaders. We're definitely leaders. It starts up front. We're the first to the fight. We don't get to hide behind people, let the smoke clear. Like we are the smoke. But no, our leaders. I challenge those guys to be leaders. And leaders, to be a good teammate, you have to set the example. You have to hold others accountable for example. Anybody can be a good teammate. I think leaders have vision. I think leaders get people to follow them. And sometimes that can be done by example. I'll use Ethan Hurkett, for example. He's a great example to follow. Okay, you put a microphone on Hurk, he's never got a mic up. He doesn't say anything. Okay, but there comes a time when other people they need that vocal reminder, and it needs to come from you. Empty barrels make the most noise, and Hurkett doesn't say a lot. But when he does say something, who said that? That's what we need. That's what we need more of. And yeah, it definitely starts up front because we're the guys that we bring the noise.
How important was it getting Ethan back for this final year of eligibility?
Important.
Helpful.
Helpful. I mean, again, the model, the model of consistency. When I think about our old guys or older guys, I don't think about them coming back for another year and being like, man, like I'm glad I got him back because I'm excited about what he's going to do on Saturday. That's not where my mind goes. My mind goes, gosh, okay, Yosei Epinesa's coming in here. I'm glad Ethan Hurkett's back because that's a model for him to watch. Oh, I'm glad Hurkett's back because that's another year that Joseph, Chima, Drew Campbell, that's another year that they get to watch him. That's more important to me, or what I look at, rather than like actually thinking about on the field production. Because I don't know what's going to happen on the field, but I know what's going to happen every day in our meeting room and on the practice field. And those young people need a model.
Some of those young guys between Yosei, Joseph, Chima,
yeah, Drew,
yeah. Do you see them down the road this season possibly being a factor early on? Like
with injuries and things like that, you never know how it's going to go. I know this much. In terms of practice, Hurkett's going into his 6th year. Aaron Graves is going to year 4. I know what those guys can do. Okay, so like with Kids Day tomorrow, when you go out there and you see the first team defense and you see that wait a minute, those guys, that's because I know what Hurkett can do. Like another 18, 19, 20 reps at Kids Day isn't going to help Ethan Hurkett, but it'll go a long way for Joseph Anderson. So, we're always trying to build those guys up because I never know when their number's going to be called. And like I said, I've got a really good idea about the older guys. So as many reps as those other guys can get, those young guys can get, the better it is. And it may be with the first group. It may be with the second group, you know. But they need the snaps.
Heard a lot of good things
Couple
about
more, really.
Joseph Anderson, too.
Yeah.
Being twitchy. I mean, son of an NFL player. Like, just a lot of things going his way.
A lot of people don't realize, like, multi-sport athletes in high school, I appreciate, I covet, I want those guys because when they get to an environment where they just play football, man, they really take off. You know what I mean? And Joseph went from football right into track. This offseason, he went from football right into the weight room, which is something that wasn't part of his development growing up. And you can tell when you look at him physically. When you see him out here, he's still thin, don't get me wrong. But, man, he's not the pipe cleaner he was when he got here last year. You know, really excited about his development.
Along the same line,
Thanks, Kelvin.
Yeah.
Devin Kennedy, what have you seen? NFL bloodlines also, obviously. What have you seen in his progress over 1 year?
Well, you hit Devin on his nickname. We call him Unk.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason we call him Unk is he's an old soul. Love his demeanor. Love how he's just attacked the work. And he's a guy that was a basketball player in high school, 2 years of high school football. And sometimes it shows, right? Sometimes it's like, you know, he's still green like a banana, but, man, he's got some physical tools. Most importantly, he's got the mindset to work, to take notes, and try to be better the next day that he hits the practice field. So really excited about Devin. That kid's got a really bright future. Bright future here.
I don't know if she can play to you, but I see Llewellyn. He gets after the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see growth in his game this year? Just like a dude who just hurries the opposing team's quarterbacks, and it all starts with that.
Yeah, his growth is gone way beyond that. We put him on the field. We put him on the field in those roles to try to accentuate what he does best, okay, and eliminate a lot of the thinking and a lot of the game plan stuff like, hey, Matt's go rush the quarterback. Well, now, you know, with him being an every down guy, he knows he can't live every play like it's 3rd and 8, right? So he's got to be able to understand what's happening defensively, understand what the offense is trying to do, and put himself in position on 3rd down to be that pass rusher. And that'll be the challenge for him. But he's responded well to it. He's been great this spring and doing really good this summer and going into fall camp. But again, like I said, I don't want I know what Herkett can do. I've seen Max play enough football. I've seen Graves play a lot of football. You know, I want to see these other guys step up as well.